Matt, thank you very much for coming. First ever TED's podcast, TED Talks. Probably can't really call it that.
That's trademarked.
Yeah, that's trademarked. Yeah, you know, we'll work something out around that.
TED FGS Talks.
TED FGS Talks, and we can get the company branded in as well. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. So today, come talk about AI, future of AI in the channel, in the world, see what's going on. But you were originally in storage at HPE, is that correct? At storage team?
I started in the SimpliVity team back in the day, almost 6 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
So run us through your career path at HPE.
At HPE?
Or you can go from the beginning.
From the beginning, I was a lovely IT apprentice at the age of 16. Installed my first server at 16, which was a HP server.
That's cool.
It's not really. So a big geek. Did 5 years working at a school, a secondary school, so that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. Learned how to make IT work on a shoestring budget, which was always cool. But I always wanted to do a little bit more, so joined an IT reseller. Did probably 8 years there.
Was that pre-sales stuff?
It was everything. So I started as an engineer, moved into pre-sales, did a lot of work with customers, scoping out solutions, then ended up becoming like the technical director for that org. So very much looking at like how they evolved to become a managed service provider. So looking at all the automation and all that sort of cool stuff. But then career change for me, rather than being really technically focused, I wanted to sharpen my commercial skills.
Right, okay,
so joined the wonderful vendor world 9 years ago, and been. And
that was to HPE?
Oh, it was actually at Fujitsu.
Okay. yeah. So when did you come to HPE then?
About 6 years. Well, 6 years ago in January.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that was for the SimpliVity team.
Yeah, joined. Primary focus was around SimpliVity, so real cool solution. Obviously, helps customers combine compute, storage, network, real simple, easy to understand, and obviously it's got loads of cool additional benefits around it. So looked after that for probably about a year. That then moved into the storage business unit. So I ended up in the storage business unit. Did various roles in the storage business unit. The last one was really looking after a team of 8 business development managers with the entire portfolio, from everything from HP GreenLake for file, XP, all the good stuff that we've got there. And then for the past 11 months, been focused on AI.
So you've kind of been in the whole area of business around HPE, really, seeing, other than the network and stuff.
So like the sad thing is, like, back in my nerdy IT days, networking was one of my secret obsessions. I did really
guilty
enjoy
pleasure.
It. 100% guilty pleasure. You want to talk to me about TCP/IP? I'm your man.
So what was the reason for the move over to AI? Where was the interest in that come from?
So I've done about 8 years in the world of vendor storage. Yeah. And my old colleagues will hate me for saying it, but I got sick of talking about IOPS and speeds and SATA disks and nearline SAS disks and all that sort of stuff. And like, I'm a complete nerd, and I'm always like current on like what's happening. The
cool new toys.
It interests me because you go back to like that managed service days where I was using automation to automate stuff that my techies were doing. So like my techies would be responding to tickets that would get open. So for example, the backups failed. Then they spend all morning looking at the backup. I can turn that into a ticket, rerun the backup. If it fails after 3 tries, then get an engineer to look at it. Whereas like the old automation process didn't exist. So like I've always been obsessed with data. How do you use data intelligently, and how do you use that to make you better? And then the world of AI crops up, and it like puts it front and center in front of everyone.
That's a perfect place to be for it, isn't it? It's that continual development of efficiency in the company. Yeah, definitely. So everyone's talking about AI at the moment. I feel like a lot of the conversations I have with customers is they say AI, they know their shareholders want AI, but not actually 100% sure if it's AI or machine learning or whatever it is. That seems to be quite a common thing, actually. So just in a nutshell, what is AI?
So I'll start with the problem for the the problem statement. So 20 years ago, we coined the term digital transformation.
Yeah.
10 years ago, that turned to big data. And like now we're here and everybody's calling it AI. So all of the things that businesses have needed to do, whether that's like automate process, business process automation, make more efficiencies, understanding the data, those challenges that digital transformation talked about are still the same challenges now, just that the tool set's slightly different. So AI gets abused grossly as a term. It means so many things to so many different people that actually the challenge that I see customers have is they know they need to adopt AI, but they don't really know how that applies to the business. So the conversations I tend to have is like, what are your top 3 biggest business pain points? Yeah. And they always reel off what they are. It's usually around like growth and staff retention, things like that, or staff efficiencies is quite a good one for the analogy. Because when they start thinking about the pain points, they can start thinking about the use cases. So we're in that infancy with AI where all you see is the mainstream use cases. Yeah. You don't see how normal businesses are implementing it. So challenge number 1, customers just need to understand what are those pain points. And then it's like, how do I apply AI to the pain points in the broad brush term of that AI means everything. It might be automation, it might be business process automation. So that's just my experience. Right, So it's like trying to get them to connect on a level. But then there's this like top end of customers that know exactly what data they've got and they know exactly what their inefficiencies are. Yeah. And they're using AI to come up with these cool use cases to get over the pain point of like sieving through data manually. So I think like these 2 tiers of customers that I see, ones that want to adopt AI, don't know where to start, but ones that get it 100% and they're already doing this stuff. And that's what you see in the media.
So what are some of the entry requirements to AI? Because I know a lot of companies at the moment, like, I just want AI, give it to me. But you need to get ready. You need to get your data ready for AI instead of just going, let's get AI tomorrow, that's the next project. Yep. What are you seeing as the first stepping stones to getting into that AI journey?
So there's 2 scenarios that I see is that knee-jerk reaction. So we need to implement AI now. So then they go away and task someone with a job of implementing AI. Yeah. And it's their job to do it. And guess what? They go away and they find some niche use case and some niche bit of data that they've got. And then they turn that into a proof of concept. So I kind of look at it as like a data science project. It's not really AI, it's just like dabbling. So that's like use case number 1. Someone's been challenged to do something. They go away and get it done because obviously they want to hit their KPIs. Challenge number 2 with adoption is, if you go back to what I said about digital transformation, customers still need to do that. So all of the hard work that you needed to do 20 years ago, you still need to do now. So if you haven't got your data modernized, you don't know where it is, you don't know what it is, you don't know what value it is to your business, starting with the data is a very, very good starting point. Because even if you do that data validation and you don't immediately create an AI proof of concept, you've still got your business in shape to adopt it as soon as you identify it.
To. Yeah, that's true. Because AI at the end of the day is only as good as the input. You can feed it a load of terrible CRM data and then you're getting dreadful output that's actually
fundamentally negative. What does it do? It puts you look at like the ChatGPT example. Yeah. What's it doing? It's predicting the most logical next word. So if all your words are made up and fabricated and based on something that isn't true, you're going to get that as an answer.
And it's not going to be beneficial at all, is it really? No. That's an easy trap to fall into, I think, especially if you haven't got your business intelligence up and running properly. It's just chuck AI in. Oh, we're getting outputs, but it's not actually going to be helpful to you at all. What's some of the, for more, because we obviously have the really large companies doing these massive AI projects, all like the health and research, science and that, but for more just everyday SMB companies, maybe just your law firm down the road or whatever, like where are you seeing it for internal company use?
Law firms is quite a good one, actually. So like this is where customers need to educate themselves, because like if they can't identify a business value with implementing something, it's not going to be successful. So for example, a law firm, they could implement some sort of solution, like a chat with your legal documents, like we're in this particular scenario, what are our options, and then it lists that. If that's going to like increase the amount of like contracts and customers they can engage with, there's like a value to it. So there's loads of niche, unique things that they can do, but to do that, it's going to require focus. It's going to require making sure that data is correct, and it's going to require that due diligence. So you need to be ready to do those hard yards. So it's well and good to say we need to implement AI. But if you don't take those steps, it's never going to succeed. But like the theoretical end result is you can improve so much productivity. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of hard work up front, but you think about that end result.
It's going to pay off in the long term, definitely. How do you see partners coming in and valuing in the channel with it as well? Because you've just got a lot of your customers, I'm sure, with AI projects will be direct, but a lot of customers will be smaller and coming through partners. How do you see that working? Where does our role come in?
So partners play a crucial role. So you're able to identify use cases and tailor them to your customers' specific needs. So I think as a vendor, we can obviously help showcase some of the use cases, but we're not in the fine detail that you might be with your customers to really tailor those solutions. So there's interesting examples that I'm seeing where partners are working with these intelligent software companies, and they're partnering with the software, deploying it on our hardware, and basically delivering a tailored solution to hit the customer's needs. And that's where I've seen some success in terms of like bespoke-in solutions. Obviously, we've got some things that we've got off the shelf that can help, but I think actually you guys have got that lens and that viewpoint to go that next level down. Making
it niche to their exact business needs. I think because if you've got the data, you need to tailor your AI to what your use case is really. Instead of just you can obviously get out of the box ones like Ada for chatbots and stuff, but that's where the real value comes, is if you can hit it perfectly for how your business needs it, I think so. It
goes back to that original challenge that you can get some stuff off the shelf, but if you haven't done the AI fit piece, the results you're going to get aren't going to be as thorough.
So how do you get that ready? So we spoke about you've got to get the data ready. Like, what's some of the good strategies to do it?
So a good strategy from my point of view. I've got a slide, so you'll be able to like pop it up.
Nice.
But it all starts with the business goal. So from a business goal point of view, what are we trying to achieve? Because as soon as you've got that clarity, the rest of your org is going to understand where you're going. And then like the tools, the infrastructure, et cetera, go to support the use case. So identify your business goal, which then you should be able to identify a use case. So as I said, like usually it's going to be like, we want employees to be more efficient. Cool. What tools can we implement to make our employees more efficient? And things like, if you've got like a massive knowledge base at this moment in time, that's prime for like some sort of chat with your knowledge base. And that's going to improve efficiencies tenfold, because you're not having to read through with the knowledge base. You just say, I've got this particular problem, what's the answer? And it comes back with the most logical thing that is on your knowledge base. But you go back to the challenge. If everybody in the organization knows that this is the business goal, this is the use case that we're trying to achieve, the actual process to make sure that that data's fit becomes a lot easier, because everybody kind of knows we're trying to achieve this business goal, which is employee efficiencies. If the knowledge base is inaccurate or not correctly up to date, we're not gaining any of the efficiencies that we've set out to achieve. So it like forces the different departments and a cross collaboration of the business, because AI isn't just something that one part of the business implements and it benefits the rest of the org. It's literally a change management and understanding of like how you operate. So it's multifaceted, and that's why it's not you just get it off the shelf approach. You just can't do that. It is business change ultimately.
Refining the business to collaborate with the AI as opposed to being two separate things.
And but it leads into the next challenge. Like everybody's like, oh, that's if we achieve this efficiency, what about my job? Like that.
Sorry?
what about my job?
Oh yeah, yeah,
like,
okay, yeah.
People get really like insular, but I use various forms of AI to make me more efficient. Like I literally just use it, so I can do the boring stuff quickly, which means that I can do the stuff I enjoy much more efficiently.
Yeah, I do it as well. Like I'll use it to help structure something. If I'm trying to build a document like a pitch deck or something for a marketing campaign, I'll give it all of my ideas, which is already where my head is, and it just structures out nicely. And then I'll rewrite it, because sometimes you read it and you're like, that's definitely ChatGPT. Yeah, so it just gives you that structure. And also I use it sometimes for time management as well. If I've got a series of projects going on and my head's just like, I can't even put this down, tell it, and it will just split it out. So I definitely think it gives us the ability to be more efficient as a staff member, instead of, oh, it's going to take my job. It might do in some roles, but if you just get really good at using it and working with it, it's actually just going to empower you to be a lot better at your job anyway. Yeah.
Well, so I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and there were a panel session, and one of the local universities made a joke about like the students cheating and using chat like functions to cheat. And I'm like, they're just the people you want to employ, because they know how to turn something into an efficiency. Because it's like, I get that they've been tested on the knowledge, but in terms of like employees moving forward, being able to get to the best, quickest answer, the most efficient way, we're still going to need the human in the loop. Like that's a big thing in AI, like keeping a person that is a subject matter expert in the loop to make sure that it is credible. So like the roles evolve, but for me, utilizing the tech that's at your hands to make you more efficient. I love it.
Well, it's like everyone used to work on farms back in the day, and then they built a tractor, and then not everyone just lost their job, they changed their job, and we got way more efficient at doing farming. So we get more efficient, and then we move where we'll just reshift around. We're not going to just have half the country with no jobs in. So it's important to learn how to use these tools, I think, otherwise then you will get fallen behind, because you're getting beaten by almost a human robot hybrid who knows how to use all of these tools perfectly. So into last sort of question then, away from the business side, where do you think AI is going to have the biggest impact on humanity in the next 30 years? I know that's a big question.
Timeline, isn't it? I think it's already having an impact now. I think like the example that I gave around like people using it to cheat on exams. But for me, it's like the pie in the sky, really cool stuff that you hear around in genome research, where they're using it to sequence things that don't even exist yet, and that's cool as anything. But if you think that's going to have a massive impact on medical and biosciences, but like for the average person, I think it's going to change the way that you interact with the world. I think ultimately, like, I mean, me personally, I'm a big geek, but I don't like learning about stuff for like weeks on end just to get to an end result. So in my own personal life, I want to do this weird pet project. How do I code it? You ask it a few questions and you've got the code and it works there or thereabouts. It might not be to the level of a software developer's approval, but for me in my own personal world at this moment in time, that's perfect. Like I've been able to do this thing that I thought of as an idea in a week. Like it's crazy. It's
going to exponentially speed up our rate of innovation. Because now you can get someone who might not be the best in the world at something and still being able to do incredibly innovative things.
I'll flip the question back.
Go on.
So biggest challenge I see over the next 30 years is like, what use cases do I prioritize? Because you can apply the logic and the idea of this word AI to everything that you do day to day. There's going to be some stuff that has massive impact and really high importance, but then there's going to be other things like automating gifts of cats. Should it exist? It's bringing someone some enjoyment, but like as a business, it's going to be like, how do we prioritize the top ones that are really going to push the needle? But society and extended, I don't even want to think about the next thing.
At the moment, we're having a lot of conversations with our customers and our clients about like them wanting to start their AI journey. Is there any resources or events or anything that HPE are doing and you guys are doing that they could come along to?
Yeah, so there's lots of things. I mean, if you're not following us on social, start there, because we're advertising probably monthly events. So we run in London, we run a data science community event. So it's called Data Science Community, but we have IT infrastructure people turn up, we have data scientists, we have AI guys, ML guys. It's really just a place to collaborate, and we usually do it over pizza and beer, so it's quite fun. There's usually ping pong as well, but we're also doing
I'm sold.
Yeah. You'll definitely be at the next one, which is in a couple of weeks, 28th of October, I think. But we're also doing some more formal sessions that we're calling the Generative AI Roadshow. Some hands-on sessions, some challenges that we've identified around scaling projects. So it's very much, if you're a customer that is dabbling with AI at the moment and you're kind of taking that proof of concept and you're about to put it into production. So we've got some really good first world experience around actually, it's great having this little pet project sat on a VM somewhere, but actually when you want to scale it and you want it to go at mass, we've got some awesome subject matter experts in the room on that.
Brilliant. Matt, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. First ever podcast with me on it. So thank you very much.
No problem.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Thank you. Been a pleasure.